Shalom to elect, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Shem Shai, Bashim, Kokodash, giving double honor to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone. Well, peace and salutation to the elect. Shem Mopin is Mopin from the Great Millstone Plaintables Camp, located here in the city of Philadelphia. I'm Lamani Mike. Come to lesson a little, or we lesson. You have it here. This is off of U.S. Post. It says Air Force set to launch ICBM, which is an international continental ballistic missile, and flex of U.S. military muscle. The U.S. Air Force will launch an intercontinental ballistic missile in Southern California next week to test and flex the military's readiness to use nuclear force. Why would they be doing this? Because we have obviously other different nations that are flexing theirs. Okay, you have North Korea. They've been, testing their stuff. You got Iran building up their stuff. I believe they definitely have, capability and definitely that, out. You have Russia, okay, which Russia is mainly the adversary of America, especially with NATO. The reason for NATO is to counter Soviet Union's military presence in Europe after World War II. Okay, NATO was the first peacetime military alliance in the United States joined outside of the Americas. Okay, and that's dealing with the beast. All right, and the horrors of America. All right. You have it that these other nations have been flexing their missile ability. Now America want to show their what they can do. All right, which they got ICBMs too. The scriptures already told you that Isaiah 54. This is Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created the smith that blows the coals in the fire. Who is this? Those different various German scientists, okay, that created, the technology to, split atoms and put together nuclear fission and all that, okay? The Lord created those different men, giving them the mentality, Robert J. Oppenheimer and such. You're going to the different various projects, to go about and bring that forth. And this is to bring forth the Lord actual destruction, because Babylon the Great is going to see nuclear destruction, okay? Catastrophic destruction. It says, and that bringeth forth an instrument of his work, okay? And this is a instrument or a kalaya, all right, which is an instrument. This is an apparatus, okay, and also a vessel for the destruction of Babylon, okay. It says, and bringing forth an instrument for his work, I have created the waster to destroy. Okay, you had it where Robert Oppenheimer, J. Oppenheimer, he said, I created our waster, quote. When he said, he quoted this, which is a quote and paraphrase of a line of the Bhagavad Gita, Sanskrit scripture. He says, now, this was after, while witnessing the detonation of a nuclear weapon in 1945, it says that now I become death and destroyer of worlds, is a quote famously attributed to Robert J. Oppenheimer, the creator of the atomic bomb. The quote of this particular Sanskrit scripture, which I mentioned. All right. He was the head of the Los Alamos laboratory during World War II, and often called the father of the atomic bomb. And the Lord, set him up, to bring that forth. Okay. Now I'll become the destroyer of the worlds. Okay, because these nuclear missiles are going to bring destruction to the world here in America. All right, it's not going to obliterate all obviously the world, because as we know, the earth abided forever, but it will bring destruction to America. All right. This is also Isaiah chapter 9. Okay. So when we see these nuclear missiles, we see prophecy. Isaiah chapter 9 and 5. For every battle of the warriors is filled, or every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments of rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. And that's talking about with World War III, in which these missiles are going to be, these ICBMs are going to be used for, to bring destruction in World War III. Okay? Going from one end of heaven to another. Okay? They talk about shots into the end of the world. That's in Esdras. All right? And the scriptures describe them, very wonderfully, and various parts of the scripture, especially in Revelation, the 9th chapter. Okay? But, we're going to keep forth right now. The scriptures say in Revelation chapter 19 that in verse 16, verse 15, you can read the whole thing, but it says, and the 4 angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men, Esau. All right, go into the categories of the men. Okay, sons of God, children of men, sons of the wicked, right? In the time of the Adamites, it says, in the number of the army of the horsemen, and these are talking about missiles, were 200,000, and I heard the number of them, and it says, and thus I saw the horses in a vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire, and a jinx and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issue fire and smoke and brimstone. That's that destructive power that's coming out the warhead. Okay, and the prophets went and tried to describe to the best they can, but we have the understanding to know what they are in these times. Okay, by these 3 was the third part of men killed, and by fire and smoke and by brimstone which issue out of their mouths. That's that warhead. For their power is in their mouth, that warhead, and in their tails. That's the propeller that propels them missiles to where they are to be, to hit the target. For their tails were like unto serpents and had heads. And just think about how a missile is shot off and how it moves and stuff too. It's like a snake, Just look at different various missile videos being shot off. Like if they show it here, we can see something. A show of power. I don't know if it's here. This might have skipped. Let me see if I can reload it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try to put it on YouTube and see if I can get something so we can circumvent a lot of things. I'm just going to show this one.
The U.S. Air Force tested an unarmed, nuclear-capable, long-range missile on Wednesday. The Air Force says the intercontinental ballistic missile traveled 4,200 miles from Vandenberg Air Force Base in California to the Marshall Islands in the Pacific Ocean. But they say tests like these are not uncommon. In fact, the Air Force says such tests have occurred over 300 times before, and that the test is not a result of current world events. The U.S. Air.
Yeah, that's what they telling you, but these are for world events. The event of World War Three. Okay. But they got all, man. Let me see if I can check something real quick in the filter. You got it. Fallout map revealed. This off of Steve Ram. U.S. test ICBM test.
Developing news coming out today, February the 14th, 2025, as we are hearing that right now the United States is planning to do a ICBM launch in a nuclear readiness drill in Southern California. Now this comes as also, I shared with you that overnight everything changed as we saw Chernobyl bombed, and we were hearing Ukraine was blaming Russia. Russia not taking the blame for it, denying the claims that they did this. And this coming as also, we are now seeing today chilling maps coming out of where 75% of the population would not survive if we had a nuclear fallout or World War III unfold in the United States. So let me know your thoughts on this. A lot.
Yeah, scriptures talk about all of that. Nuclear fallout, things of that sort, man. Okay? I'm going to finish real quick. It says, for their powers in their mouth and in their tails, for their tails were like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. Okay? And it's definitely going to hurt Babylon. Okay? And the missiles where they're going to hit in different nations, it's going to hurt. Let's look up that word hurt, by the way, in the Greek. Word hurt in the Greek, go back to the Greek word adekio. All right, adeko, and it means to do damage, man, to wrong someone. Okay, that's what it's gonna do.
Seems to be changing in the last 24 hours, as we had heard Donald Trump come out and say that there was going to be peace between Russia and Ukraine. And now what we're hearing is that within 6 hours of Donald Trump making that announcement, that there was this attack on Chernobyl, on the nuclear facility. And now we're hearing that somebody is causing some sort of ruckus here, some sort of chaos, and we might not be going in the direction of peace. Do you think that there is going to be peace with these nations, with Ukraine and Russia? Do you think that Russia did this attack? Do you think that Ukraine did this to themselves? Some are saying speculation of a false flag narrative to keep war going on. We're also hearing that Zelensky is now saying that Putin is not going to be stopping, that he is actually lying to the United States, trying to play Donald Trump for peace, when in actuality he is preparing for further escalation. I shared with you articles coming out earlier today, as we heard from Estonia, that said that right now any peace talks that have been done between Russia and the United States, they are obsolete and off the table. And now we're hearing that the United States is preparing for nuclear readiness. They're going to be doing their own drills. Now, I'm going to share with you the latest. They're saying that these are planned drills, but let me know your thoughts right now, as it does seem that things have really changed roughly in the last 24 hours. Do you think that there is going to be peace? If you think so, put yes. If you think no, put no. But I'm going to share with you the latest, so that way you can see it for yourself. And I see people
Just talk about destruction. Nahum. Joel. It says here, this is Joel chapter 2. Alright. It says in verse 1, it says, blow ye the trumpet into Zion. Alright, Israel. Okay. The Israelites dealing with. Okay, the Lord's monument. Sound the alarm in my holy mountain. We're letting you the alarm by the prophecies. Let you know of what's to come. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahweh cometh, for it's nigh at hand. In a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness. As the morning is spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there hath not been ever the like, neither shall there be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. And like I said, you're gonna have, this destruction is gonna kick off. All right, in the midst of Jacob trouble, because it'll happen basically at the when it's attended time. And the Lord gonna have to come back, because it's talk about how in 1 hour that destruction of Babylon is gonna occur. All right, and the Lord gonna have to deliver these elect, because if not, we would get we would be destroyed in that nuclear destruction. But the 1/3 is gonna go to the fire. 2/3 get cut off here and die in America. There's gonna be destruction about. It says a fire devoured them. A fire devoured before them, and after them a flame burneth. The land is as a garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yeah, and nothing shall escape them. All right, that's that nuclear destruction again. All right, in Babylon, this place was a paradise at a time, and now you're gonna see it's gonna be destroyed. All right, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so that they shall run. And he's describing the missiles. Like a noise of a chariot on the tops of mountains, they shall leap. Like the noise of a flame of a fire that devoured the stubble, as a strong people set in battery array. Before their face the people shall be much pain. All faces shall gather blackness. They're gonna be people gonna get destroyed in that nuclear destruction. All right. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the walls like men of war, and they shall march everyone on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. And the missiles gonna hit their intended target. Missile defenses ain't gonna work. All right, during that time. Okay. They shall run like mighty men, and they shall climb the wall like mighty, like men of war, and they shall march everyone on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. Okay? It says they shall run to and fro in the city, and they shall run upon the wall. They shall climb upon the houses. They shall enter into the window like a thief. All right? A lot of this going to happen. Hey, people, it's going to happen just all of a sudden. When the Lord sets it, because the Lord come as a thief in the night. All right, it says, and like I said, with the World War III, the ultimate end of it is the destruction, the nuclear destruction. All right, you're gonna have, but the MOTB or the RFID to the C hip has got to be mandatory first. All right, before that kicks off. The earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. All right. Going to these articles.
People are commenting, saying that they are poking the bear. I think they're referring to Russia right there. Somebody's saying that Ukraine did.
Russia's the bear, and he's on point with that. You go to Revelation, the 13th chapter. It speaks about at verse. Revelation chapter 13 and 1, it says, and I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his head were the name of blasphemy. All right, and this is dealing with NATO and the EU. Okay, and a savage, cruel system. Okay. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, representing the Greeks, and which began obviously the Edomites' rulership, okay, with the Greeks with Alexander. All right, that's what the leopard represents, okay, being very swift and bringing forth conquering that known world at the time and subjugating them, making them vassals for the empire. All right, that Greek empire. And his feet were as the feet of the bear, and that's the end of him. Okay, the end of this system is with Russia. okay, which is going to bring forth that solitary, that bear, that solitary, that's on his own, okay? They stick to themselves. They don't want no meddling, no eastern expansion of NATO in their territories. They, of course, threaten to obviously bring forth war. You know, that's why you got war in the Ukraine and stuff like that. You know, them being too close to the Russia. You know, and Ukraine being a Soviet Union former member. Okay. It says the feet, whereas the feet of a bear, that's the end, as your legs is the end of your body, that end of this is with Russia. And his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And this new Roman Empire is going down, right? Russia is not part of NATO, all right, or the EU, okay? And it's going to be bringing forth destructive force to that whole America, okay, that ride upon the scarlet colored beast. All right, so when you go back to this,
I think another person, Kathy, is saying that Ukraine did this. Let me know your thoughts. People are believing that this is a false flag. Others are saying that this was in fact Russia, that they don't want peace. I don't know. We will see. I'm seeing yeses and nos coming in the comments. Now, while you're dropping those yeses and nos, don't forget to also take a quick second to hit that like button. Predicts the regions of the United States where 75% of the people will lose their lives in a terrifying World War III nuclear attack simulation. I'm going to be sharing this with you so you can see the locations of where they're saying that the radioactive exposure would unfold, the winds where they would draw them, and why they're saying that 3 out of 4 people would not survive. Now, the
scriptures talk about a destroying wind, Jeremiah, you know, fanners, missiles. You know, I mean, it's just a straight prophecy. You could just like sit there and have a field day with this. All right, Jeremiah 51:1, it says, "Thus said the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, which is America, and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind, and will send unto Babylon, America, fanners that shall fan her, and she shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her right about." Okay? And what you're going to have is various nations with these missiles that's going to shoot and make obviously this destruction worse. Okay? Like when you give oxygen to a fire, they get bigger. Alright? So, like they saying about 75%. Like if it's a nuclear thing going down, it says 75% will be through. You know, will die in World War III. A map. You know, as Chernobyl was bombed.
Era map has resurfaced that predicts the regions of the United States where 75% of the people will lose their lives in a terrifying World War III nuclear attack simulation. I'm going to be sharing this with you so you can see the locations of where they're saying that the radioactive exposure would unfold, the winds where they would draw them, and why they're saying that 3 out of 4 people would not survive. Now, this comes as I mentioned to you, what kind of changed everything was what we saw unfold overnight, and that was show where 75% of the people would not survive as winds would carry the radioactive fallout. So again, just to clarify, even if you're not in the blast zone, the radioactive exposure could be carried by the wind and could go and blow throughout the United States. So that's why you are seeing these streaks. As it would hit, it would then go across the U.S. and you can see the black areas is where it says over 3,500 RADS. The white areas, it says 1,050 to 3,500, and the dashed areas would be 300 to 1,050, and you can see the winds blowing across the United States if those locations were to be hit, the devastation that would be caused, and they're saying everybody in those areas would receive exposure. So that is why it is very important that even if you're not in the blast zone, to make sure that you got something that will protect you, and you want to try to stay out of those winds.
How you gonna stay? How you gonna be protected? Like these dudes is crazy. It's a nuclear missile. Okay. The only people escaping this destruction It's gonna be in bunkers and such, in the particular places they're gonna be. Okay, this place is gonna be through. Okay, all the way finished through. Okay, so don't listen to the guy. You got people that they going about thinking they could be delivered from this destruction that's gonna hit this place, earthquakes, all types of tsunamis, all type of madness gonna be going on. You talking about you think you gonna be in a bunker and come out and be all right? No, okay. So the scriptures talk about the destroying wind. Talk about even the fallouts. I have to go to them particular scriptures. I'll probably revisit the subject. Yeah, we'll just go in again. All right. So I'm gonna leave it at that, man. Just putting that out there. Air Force set to launch ICBM and flex of U.S. military. These are just wars and rumors of wars, and just spectacles until the coming World War III happens. So the third woe as it goes into. So Shalom to elect, all praise and honor go to Yahweh Shem Shai, B'Shem Kokodash.